The Katha Upanishad is an all-time favorite Upanishad. It deals with the same theme as the rest of the Upanishads, but it is more effective than others. In the Katha Upanishad, we have a dramatic confrontation between the ideal student, who is a teenager named Nachiketa, and the ideal teacher, who is none other than Death himself. At the backdrop of death, we ask questions like, who am I? What happens when we die? Are we going to be torn away from everyone else? And what can I do about death now? Now in this story, Nachiketa's father had got very angry with him and had told him, to death I shall offer thee. So Nachiketa made a visit to Lord Yama, the king of death, but Lord Yama was not at home. So he had to spend 3 days and 3 nights waiting for Yama. When Yama came, he was very apologetic and offered Nachiketa 3 boons to make up for the 3 inhospitable nights he had to spend at his place. Now Nachiketa asked 2 boons and Yama granted them very easily. Nachiketa's 3rd desire was that he wanted to know the secret of death. Now Yama did not want to reveal this secret to this young boy, so he tried to dissuade him in every way. He offered him all kinds of riches, all the pleasures on earth, but Nachiketa stood firm. Finally, Yama told him the secret of immortality. He said that there are 2 paths that lead us to action. One is the joy of spirit, and the other what appears pleasant to the senses. All goes well who pursue the joy of spirit, but they miss the point of life who prefer the pleasant. The wise know this, but not the ignorant. Wisdom and ignorance are far removed. One leads to self-realization and the other takes us away from the self. He recited many verses. I'll recite some of them in English. In one of the verses he says, know the self as the lord of the chariot, the body as the chariot itself, the discriminating mind, the discriminating intellect as the charioteer, the mind as the rein. The 5 senses, they say, are the 5 horses. Selfish desire are the roads they travel. For those without discrimination and far from pure, wander from death to death. But those with discrimination, with a still mind and a pure heart, live on forever. In another verse, Yama says, he cannot be seen with these 2 eyes, but he reveals himself to the heart made pure through meditation and some restraint. Realizing him, one is released from the cycle of birth and death. When the 5 senses are stilled, the mind is stilled, and the intellect is stilled, one reaches the highest state. Yoga is this state of complete stillness. It is a unitive state where one is never separate again. For those who are not established in this state, the sense of unity comes and goes. In another verse he says, when all the desires that surge through the heart are renounced, the mortal becomes immortal. When all the knots that strangle the heart are loosened, the mortal becomes immortal. This sums up the teachings of all the scriptures. Thank you.